All right, and we are back recording. We're not live. Hip Hop 95, Atlanta's #1 streaming hip hop station. Still, this is the radio show about nothing, podcast about nothing. Right now, to my left, co-host, best friend, creator of the show. Talk to him.
What's poppin', twins? We are back. I'm happy to be here, man. Sad day.
Sad day.
Very sad day in sports, but nonetheless, I'm happy to be here. The NFL is back. Football is back. The weather is cooling down in Atlanta in September for the first time in 6 years.
Oh God! Yeah.
Like I walked outside and it was I was kind of chilly.
We're at that week where it's the fake fall.
Yeah,
it's the fake fall week.
It's about to get hot as a
man. Listen, September 29th is going to be 99 degrees. Like,
oh, God.
It's going to be the hottest it's been all year, bro.
But, man, yeah, I'm happy to be here. So, football will be heavily talked about on this show. So, if you are here to learn something, we are your guys. If you're here to just be entertained, we are your guys. You feel me? But stop.
If you think we're stupid, we're your guys.
Yeah, like, subscribe. Like, comment, please. Thank you. Look in the bio. All the socials are there, assuming you're watching on YouTube. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify, same thing. The social is there. Thank you very much. And let's get started, man.
Facts.
We got a lot to get to. So, first off, let's get it right into the nitty-gritty, what everybody wants to hear us talk about. Nicki Minaj is hosting the VMAs.
Just giving out the Video Vanguard Award. Very excited.
So let's do the first 15 on that.
That's hard.
But nah. So the VMA artists tonight, but who cares?
It's crazy. I didn't know VMAs was night. I had no clue VMAs was night.
They gonna be performing. I'm gonna watch Megan and Cardi perform. That's why I know.
Oh, they're performing. That's gonna be crazy.
When that shit hit Twitter.
Yeah, that's gonna be crazy.
I might go back and watch that bitch live just so I can react.
Yeah, like
all the time.
Yeah. I'm gonna be in there dancing.
All right. So
it was like, man, I ain't really like the rapping. Nigga. I watched that shit on mute. I ain't hear nothing else said.
So we'll do college football real quick. Let's touch on prom again. 2-0. Man,
it's crazy. This is just as impressive as a win in a different way, for real.
Because they were out of sync early.
Yeah,
and it was good to see them. And let's really set the scene though,
right?
Because you get there, and first up, shout out to Cam and. What is it? It is whatever. Shout out to Cam. But he was talking about how the locker room is like a club in there.
Yeah.
Damn near. It's a pool table, it's a barbershop, and it's a DJ before pregame. So they really locked in, you know, really
barbershop
feeling the culture. Like really,
barbershop is tough. Like you get a fade before the game.
Come on, bro. We in Colorado. Like we gotta bring some, you feel me? So super hard. So getting a fade before the game is crazy. So Cam was talking about that, and you got T.O. in there.
Yep.
You got Cam in there, Mike Lervin in there, Sapp in there,
Cam.
Stephen A, Shannon,
Killer
Cam, bro.
Yeah.
And it was more Gilly was there. And so you got all these celebrities around you. You had a crazy win last week.
Yep.
Now you really believe, and now you got to go out and prove with the expectation, knowing everybody watching you.
Right.
And you left high school 6 months ago.
Right. And so they coach been talking.
Yeah, they coach been talking. So now we got to back up coach because we love coach.
No, they coach been talking rules.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Facts. So now we got to go shut them up. So the nerves were obviously there, and it was obvious from the start. So after they settled in, it was back to the machine.
Yeah.
But it was good to know their defense could hold up in that way when their offense wasn't necessarily clicking. But what did you see?
I 1,000% agree about everything you said. Like, I got a fade before the game. And then I'm going to go out here, and Nebraska's running wing tight power O, like 12 times a drive. Like, all right. Like, you can kind of see the first half, and he's like, all right, we can do it. Like, we can stop them, but, like, it's going to be real annoying. Yeah. It was good to see them fight through the adversity, though. And it's really important because, and this goes damn near almost all across all sports, great teams adjust well in games. Like, good teams, between games, can fix things. Great teams can do it game, quarter, series almost. And you literally saw what was going on at halftime. There wasn't nobody getting a cut at halftime because they came out at halftime a completely different team. Looked great, got downhill on them, and Sanders looked great again. The little dash for his man. Listen, every week he's getting better and better.
He's special, man.
Yeah,
he's special.
Most watched college football again this weekend.
Listen, man, Texas and Bama played this weekend.
Yeah.
Texas and Alabama played this weekend.
Do you know how crazy that
And
is?
Colorado
Nebraska.
and Nebraska was the most watched game at 12 noon.
That's crazy.
That's insane, dog.
That's ridiculous.
So, looking at the next 2 weeks, just real quick for Colorado. Let me pull it up real quick because I don't want to say it wrong. Yeah, so I was right. The next 3 weeks, actually.
Yeah.
We got Colorado State, who is their rival, and they're making so much noise in college football right now. They had decided to take College Game Day to Colorado. A 10 o'clock game.
A 10 p.m. game.
A 10 p.m. game is getting College Game Day.
That is nuts.
So, to play Colorado State,
Yeah.
who's
0-1?
Who's 0-1 and who cares about Colorado
They've
State?
already had their loss. Like,
So, and then next week, we have Oregon, and week after, we have USC.
yeah.
I just want to know real quick, because it's going to happen, so we'll talk about it when it does, but real quick, what are you expecting?
So I'll tell y'all right now, because I don't watch college football, but I'm going to be right about this. They're going to beat the brakes off Colorado State. They're going to beat Oregon, too, because Oregon looks super mid. But that USC game, boy, listen, hey, I don't know. Listen, they don't even got the time set for it. It's not even a
They
time
don't even
set.
know yet. They don't know nothing yet.
Because in Colorado, 3 p.m., it's going to be a 6 o'clock game. It's going to be a 6 o'clock kickoff because it's going to be eyes all over that game. You got Caleb Williams, the young. It's crazy. We don't even talk about Caleb Williams because he's that good. Like, he's so good. We don't even talk about it on the show. Because, like, what can you even say, like, to describe some of the stuff he's doing? It's ridiculous. And then on the other side, you got the biggest sports phenom since, like, just as a team, I can't remember the last team this hyped. Like, across sports.
I cannot.
Like, even though the Warriors hype, nobody liked them. So it wasn't like, oh, yeah, we all lit. I can remember the last time a team got together like this, and the whole sport was locked in with it.
The closest thing to it was last year with Caitlin Clark and Angela Reese, because everybody was like behind that.
Facts.
But it's not even, it's not.
But it's amplified because college football.
Exactly.
Like it's amazing. The atmosphere. It's really funny they're going out there at 10 p.m. But I understand.
I get it.
And they're going to score 40 on them.
They're going to score 40, and that's going to be the dominant win.
Yeah.
So I agree with you, bro. I think they're going to beat Oregon.
Yeah.
But I also think they're going to beat USC, because I think USC's defense is so bad that it's going to be one of those college football games that's 45-42 like we saw them play in TCU. But I think Colorado is able to get the stop. Now, maybe I'm tripping, and maybe Caleb Williams is going to make me realize why he's the number one pick and why you saying he's a top 10 quarterback in the NFL already, and after week 1 he may be.
Listen, bro.
We'll get there in a second. But I really think they're going to pull 3 in a row off. And if they do,
they're headed to the playoff.
They're going to the playoffs.
Yeah, they're headed to the playoffs.
And if they go to the playoff, they're winning the national championship in my eyes. And I say that have not watched one game from Oregon and 35 minutes from USC and all Caleb Williams highlights.
So I did watch the Oregon game, and they should have lost for real. I think they played like Kansas State or somebody. Like, it was a team they should have beat the doors off of, and they didn't. But 1,000%, you're correct. If they beat USC, they win the championship. Even if they don't win the championship,
I don't care.
Going from
I don't care what happens.
Going from a 1-win season to the college football playoff, it's over. It's over. Because unlike other sports, momentum can create a dynasty in college football. Momentum can create a dynasty. The same way the Texas players was walking around the stadium talking to the Bama commits, like, yeah, y'all better change your mind. Come on, man. Prime go from 1 win to college football playoff.
Top 4 in the country in Colorado.
Flipping the whole roster
In the
off straight
Pac-12.
trash. No recruit.
That's stupid.
Man.
That would be stupid.
Beating the Heisman on the way there, too.
But maybe we tripping.
Yeah.
Maybe we tripping. But
Go Buffs.
Truly, I think they are going to be Oregon. And I was playing around. I have watched Oregon play. And the reason is truly behind all of this is I don't think anybody can stop their offense.
Yeah.
I think their offense is so... Okay. Bring that back. I don't think anybody in the anybody other than the SEC can stop their offense.
Facts.
Because of how tactical it is. And it's just make the right play. And in college, the right play is always there. It's not the NFL where we got these freak athletes literally all over the field. That's why the quarterbacks look like they did this weekend, because you got to adjust faster than anybody, and that's the hardest position to adjust to. So, But in college, it's a lot simpler. The athletes are a lot, and I think they have the skill positions that are going to be better or as good as anybody else. And I really think, like you're saying, the momentum is going to carry them. The momentum will continue to carry them. Although the teams you play, like USC and Oregon and UCLA later in the year and Utah later in the year, they're going to want to beat them bad. They want to be the one to take them down. But it's like I said, just like I said earlier, 18, 19, 20, they ain't. Like, that pressure started to feel you. And you at home in Colorado, or you out of bounds in Colorado, you at home, and it's Gilly on the sideline, and it's Michael Irvin over there, Chad Ochocinco over there. Like, it's
it's going to keep getting more hype.
It's going to keep getting more hype. That USC game is going to look crazy.
No.
It's going to look ridiculous.
I don't know who's going to be at home. They say it's in Colorado.
It's in Colorado, yes.
Dude, that's going to be insane.
It's going to be ridiculous.
It's wild.
It's going to look stupid.
Do you know the people that's going to be at that game?
Do you know how ridiculous it is that the people that are going to be at the game are going to be in Colorado?
We be so right. I got bread to say Braun at the game. I take a bet right now, 9-12. Braun and Brawny at the game. I swear, Brawny, USC player. But listen.
That was who I was going to say.
That game is going to be insane. But I totally agree. The way their offense is very, very prepared, but very dynamic.
Yes.
They do a lot of different things really well. And the coaching advantage they have over college defensive coordinators feels kind of unfair sometimes, where you can see them just have automatics. Like, the minute they got that turnover, they're rushing 3, Sanders drops back. I know it's a touchdown. Like, they have that. Like, they just had that beater ready. Like, it's a Madden game. Like, oh, yeah. This is going to score. And it's a walk-in touchdown. He's executing amazingly. And, you don't like him to struggle, but you kind of like to see how he's going to react. And it's really easy to, fold it up, but
the image he portrays of I'm cool and I'm keeping it cool is not an image.
He really is
how
that
you
guy.
have a TV personality. That's that's who he is.
Right.
He is that through and through. So on the field, when he is down or he is struggling to his standards, I'm cool, like I'm good,
right?
Because that's who he is, and you can see it,
right?
But you said a key word, and it's the way they execute. They execute so efficiently. Right. I just don't think anybody's going to be able to stop it because of how disciplined they are. And that's the last thing, the coaching. The coaching is going to matter in these games, in these big games, because they're not going to get blown out. I just don't see that happening. But in these big games, late down the stretch, like you said, in-game adjustments, the things that they coaches in the box are going to be seeing, USC and Oregon just not going to see and be able to attack and execute as fast as they are.
Right.
That's just my opinion.
Right.
And I could be wrong, of course, but from what I have seen, I have watched every snap of these games, and I've watched a lot of USC play. And I just think I think it's going to be an amazing game, like you said. But I just think the execution and the minor details that football, the little things in football are going to show in that game, and it's going to be on Colorado's favor. But we're just speculating, and it's 3 weeks away. But obviously, we hella excited.
And this is a Colorado show, if y'all ain't know.
And real quick. Oh, no, go ahead.
No, I say go Buffs. You're good.
Oh, yeah, go Buffs. And shout out to Lou Young, bro. Every week. He is funny. He's a funny guy. But real quick, before we get into the NFL for the rest of the show, shout out to Gunna, man.
Shout out to Gunna, man.
Shout out to Gunna.
Shout out to Gunna.
Shout out to Gunna.
I was so
ahead,
mad.
Man.
I was
Please,
do you know how mad I was when I looked it up and I only saw LA and New York? Oh my God, I was so hurt. I said, Gunna's on tour? I was going to stop everything I was doing. Like, Gunna dropped tickets? Like, whoa, I didn't know that. Listen, the show looked amazing. From all the videos, the show looked absolutely spectacular. Set list was amazing. And listen, y'all, a lot of y'all be lying. A lot of y'all be telling lies. Because, listen, nobody fuck with Gunna. But everybody be listening to Gunna music. Them shows look packed. Like, that atmosphere looked amazing. And I'll pose this. One day we're going to have to talk about Top Off for real. One day we gonna really have to talk about Top Off and how it really is I don't know where it falls,
song.
bro.
Like
it changed a lot for Gunna for real.
Yes,
I didn't realize
changed a lot for rappers, bro, coming under him.
And I didn't really realize it till he was doing it on stage. Like, bro, like that's a moment in rap.
Yes,
like that's legit a moment in rap. Like that colors free, man.
Yes. That's one of them
it.
videos, like when you sitting chilling and you just kicking shit with your dogs.
Right.
That's a video you put on.
That's
how you put on a tiny desk, a fly ass tiny desk. Like that's a video you just throw on the left.
That's when you scrolling. You always stop. You always stop and listen to that whole Top Off. Man, I loved it. The atmosphere looked amazing. Shout out to Ice for live tweeting it while he was there. Hilarious guy. But you niggas like he can't do it. Everybody was like, man, why don't he do it in Atlanta? He's like, he can't do it in Atlanta, bro. Trust me. If he do it in Atlanta, I will be there, nigga. Listen, if y'all there too, fuck it. We all strapped.
Bro, like
fuck it.
Bro, like
shout out Gunna, but like, hey man, shout out Gunna, bro.
He's
Dead Thug's verse 2 was dressed crazy. It's literally not enough salutes.
He is factual. It's not enough salutes. I think that was one of the best rap shows I've seen in a long time. Real shit.
Yeah.
First off, I had no idea he was gonna come out and rap like he did.
Yeah, no, like really rap though.
Like really rap.
Like we're not. I don't got the track playing
No.
and I'm ad-libbing. Like no.
I'm rapping. Like I'm rapping all of these words. The stage design, the set design, his outfit changes, his breath control, his energy. The energy in the building felt infectious through the phone. And I was not shocked that Gunna could sell out a stadium, especially coming from the situation he come from and everything.
Right. First show out, right?
It's nice. Exactly, first show out. It's nice that he was able to do that in New York, and it's nice that he's going to be able to do that in LA, especially those are the two big cities right now. And, of course, he's going to be able to do it in Atlanta, and I think he can really go on an arena tour if he feels like it.
Facts.
Which I think probably will be coming. But what I was impressed with was the fact that everybody was singing.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know in New York people knew his music like that.
Bro.
Like, it was just the random songs. Like, it was Hot and, like, Top Off and the
South
songs
to
from
the
his
West?
South to West. Like, I heard that and I was like, whoa.
Yo,
I was like, okay. Nice.
Gonna translate.
Yes.
That's what
he's translating.
Like, yeah.
Nice.
Because for a long time, niggas thought it was just us for real.
Yeah.
Niggas just thought it was Atlanta niggas for real. Gassing.
He's breaking the regions.
Literally,
he's breaking
bro.
into the different regions. And I didn't know it was to that extent where we in an arena tour and everybody singing every word to a 30-song set list.
Yeah.
That was impressive to me. But the one question I wanted to ask you, and I was really excited to ask you this, because as soon as I saw the show, I thought about it. 2 weeks ago, we had the episode 46. Go get that, subscribe. But episode 46, I asked you, where are we in rap? And I explained to you that I thought we were in a dangerous place because I didn't see a superstar. But I just saw it.
Right.
To that,
That's amazing. That's amazing. Because it's crazy. Because I was going to bring this conversation back up to agree with you. That my opinion has changed. That I am now worried. And it had nothing to do with Gunna. Shout out Olivia Rodrigo album. It was more so about that. But to your point, Gunna looks like he absolutely could be a superstar. But the trajectory of rap, or like being, because the conversation for people who haven't seen it or you may have forgot, the conversation was rap being at the top, is that in jeopardy? And, we're going to talk about it later, but that Olivia Rodrigo album, she's out of here. She's next.
I've heard.
And what my point was going to be is, who's going to compete with her? like how the Olympics sends niggas? Like, who are we sending out of the newer generation? Because her runway is going to be a little different. Because I don't think, it may not start in the next couple of years. But I think Gunna could absolutely be the one. Seeing how much it translated, the different people that was there, and all of the songs. Like, stuff that I thought it was just us. Amazing.
So, I say Gunna because of the translation.
Right.
I think Gunna is somebody, people from 45 that are the quote unquote gatekeepers of this, all the way down to 14 from every race can relate to and can find something they like. And I don't want to, okay. Like, if he does it right, and I don't know if he can, because I don't know if he'll have the necessary connections to be able to, because of what he has been through. But if everything shakes out to where he can move around how you're supposed to move around when you're at the top, like a phone call away from Hove, not necessarily him, but a phone call away from a Drake, or Wayne, or so-and-so. If he can't be that, then it's going to be difficult for him to reach what I'm going to say. But he has the ability to get to where Drake is because of his versatility. Right. And I'm not going to say peak Drake, because that's probably won't be done for a long time. Like that's some Bad Bunny. Like it's the pop shit that you got to get to really be able to do that. But as far as just rapper Drake, 2014, 2013, 15, that little 2013 to 2015, and kind of now because he's really big now. But no, I take that away. 2013 to 2015. Yeah. I think he can get to that point, and I think at that point Drake was the biggest rapper in the world. Like, and it was either him or and it wasn't at that time. It may not have been popular to say, but looking back, it was he was. And I think he can get to that level, which is all we need to. Once he's at that level, the money is going to come behind him, and the resources will come behind him to push him up so we can compete with Olivia Rodrigo, because I have heard the album, and you're right, she's out of here.
She's like gone.
Real deal, real deal. She's out of here. When I say, when he asks who can compete with her, we're not talking about, he said in his class for a generation, that's the 25 and or 32 and under class. Like the Drakes and the Beyoncés and the Taylor Swifts are not in this. Like they're out of Bad Bunny, the Weekends, they're out of here. They're established legends, whatever. So coming up from the new school in rap, I don't know. Other than I saw Gunna, and where would you put Travis Scott in this? We had that conversation.
See, earlier. I would have him in kind of like headed in a class like a little above them. Just because he's been out and releasing for so many years. We talked about like your first push up, your first couple pushes up, show how far you're really gonna get for real. Because a lot for some artists, like, you know, you may blow later, you know, you may as soon as you start. But once you really blow, you never really hit that same peak again, because you're not gaining new fans.
No.
Because you're keeping the fans that you kept when you blew the first time. So man, I would put him with the last class, but man, shout out to Gunna, bro. Yeah. Shout out to Gunna,
man. Real spill.
Yeah.
So, but also shout out to Olivia Rodrigo for that. I'm Miss Curry.
Yeah.
It sounds great. And she writes.
She was writing.
She's cool.
Like, that was hard.
She's special, yeah. She's a special talent.
I was on the way here, for real.
Pop is in the great hands. I had a couple songs playing, too, yeah. Tizo Touchdown also dropped a really good
yeah, shout out Tizo.
That Tizo Touchdown album is phenomenal. That's that's some really, really good music on that project. So shout out to both of them. But, you know something.
Yes, sir.
So, you know why we're here. We don't even got to talk about it. We don't want to introduce nothing. Y'all know why we're here. Let's get straight into it, man. Aaron Rodgers. Man, life is not fair.
Life's just not fair, bro, for real.
Play
fair. The Malcolm in the Middle sound in the background for those listening. Like, that's sad, bro. Like, listen, I have thrown around way more than my fair share of Rodgers slander. Like, I am like people know me for disliking Aaron Rodgers. Like, it's set. Like, people reached out to me. Like, Aaron Rodgers blew his Achilles. Like, people came and told me. Like, and I ain't gonna lie. I was watching with my mom, lifelong Jets fan. That might have been the saddest thing I've ever seen on sports. Like, in sports, my entire life watching. I don't know if I saw something more just sad.
I'm so glad you said that. Because I was going to say the only thing close to that is Kobe tearing his Achilles.
Right.
Like, that's the only thing I can think that's remotely close. Yeah. And we had got the shit for Kobe.
And that's the thing. We squeezed everything out of Bean.
And that was the end of the season where we knew, like, man, like he was still top 3 at that point, 34.
Got the ice bags on every part. Like,
this is 4 plays into something that's supposed to be so special.
And, like, this was supposed to be the fresh start.
Facts.
Like Kobe was still in LA. We knew this was going to, wrap up. Even if they won it this year, this is going to be the kind of the end. This was a completely new beginning. He had a new attitude. He was showing at the OTAs.
Hard knocks.
Hard knocks. He played in the preseason. And for it to just end. And it was so sad because I saw him fall. And, man, listen, I knew it was something really bad. And I don't know if people, like, kind of do this or if people have ever been hurt. Like, he tried to get up and then he sat down. And then he just stayed there. Like, if you sprain your ankle, you hurt your calf, you recognize the pain. You sprained your ankle before. You know what a calf feels like. You're like, okay, my ankle's hurt. You're looking around, trying to get some help up. He sat down like he knew. Because he knew. Because it completely popped. It is so sad. It's so sad. Fourth play of the game. I feel so bad for Jets fans. I feel so bad for Robert Saleh. The titles episode is, of course, for Rodgers, but for a lot of the other people in the league is going to pop up throughout this episode. Life's not fair, Robert Saleh. Because, this might be it. Life's not fair, bro.
That's crazy. So, I was watching, of course, and it was real sad because as soon as it happened, I said it's the turf.
Yeah.
And the players have been begging for 3 years now to get this turf and all of these fields changed, and especially MetLife. MetLife was one of the fields they were begging because so many players have torn things in that stadium. And if you don't know, turf is built on rubber and concrete.
Yeah,
so
rubber pellets.
It doesn't give as grass does, especially with cleats on. So when your body is supposed to kind of stop and like be a little loose, it stiffens. And that causes muscles to pop, stretch as they're not supposed to. And that's exactly what happened with Aaron Rodgers. He's older. He hasn't really played in a long time. It's 9 months off. I mean, he played in the preseason, but of course he doesn't get touched. He doesn't get touched in the practice.
Right.
And the offensive line was shot. And I think they called it terrible. I think that asking a left tackle to cut block
is a bad idea.
Is a bad idea with a 39-year-old quarterback.
Yeah.
I just don't see the point in even really running.
And I feel so bad for Dwayne Brown. I feel so bad for him because he was so, I don't know if you saw it, he was distraught after the game.
Yeah.
Understandably as a left tackle, but like, you didn't call the play. And like, it's not like you got beat on the block. They told you to lay down. Like
they told you to lay down, and he did what he was supposed to do as the defensive end and just made a good play. And the thing is, it's sad because you like you said, it's so final. Like it's just like you didn't even get a sliver of hope.
Yeah.
It's not even like they got to feel anything.
Yeah.
They were about to go 3 and out. Mm-hmm. And he was about to go back to the sideline, and we were just going to try again and hopefully get another touchdown.
It's over.
And now it's just over, and you don't get to see him again. And he may not ever play again.
That's the saddest part. Where life is so fragile in that way. And I say it all the time because, like, even in football, the most dangerous game, we kind of, well, especially because the season just started, like, it happens so fast for people where it's just done. Like, Cooper Kupp's on IR. Like, it's instant where you're doing something you've done for 25 years. For 25 years, he's been doing that. Probably more, counting high school and stuff. And it just ends. And at his age, like, people are saying he could come back, but, man, it's just a lot to ask.
It's a lot to ask.
It's a lot to ask. He's 40 to rehab and then play after that. Like, KD blew his Achilles, and we're like, yeah, he still has some runway behind him. Aaron Rodgers on like a 2-year deal.
Like, next year would be the last year of his deal.
Yeah. Like, are they going to extend him after? Is he playing for an extension at the start of the season? Coming off an Achilles at 41? I just think it's just sad for a player like Aaron Rodgers. No matter what we think of him, like top 5, top 10, that's a conversation for a different day. But for someone who's been one of the faces in the league for almost all our adult lives. Well, definitely all our adult lives.
Definitely.
Almost all our lives, really. Like, Aaron Rodgers was in the bowl when I was in middle school. Like that, it's amazing. It's so sad. It's so sad how it happens.
Yeah, it really hurt me, man. And I shout out to the Jets fans, man. I'm so sorry that happened. Like that's the worst luck I've ever seen, bro. But on the other hand, the game did happen.
Yeah, they did get played.
We'll start with Monday night and go backwards. And we told you about Josh Allen.
Hey, listen, I be so. Oh my God! Listen, I be so.
We told y'all
I'm telling you
about Josh Allen. I'ma just be real. He is not who you guys think he is.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's Brian Daboll. I like to think it is. I like to think it's Brian Daboll. But he does not look confident.
No, he don't.
He looks shook. He looks like he is playing. You remember when Patrick Mahomes was like, yo, I'm just back there. I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just reading defense. He looks like he's doing that, but with no confidence. He doesn't look like he knows what he is looking at unless he's throwing it to Stephon Diggs. Right.
He threw multiple picks to Stephon.
Like, it's 4 turnovers, week 1, 3 picks, 2 of them awful, just heaved.
Yeah.
It's like he has no impulse control. He just sees a pass he maybe can make. Like, he caught this 3 times in training camp, so fuck it.
Right.
And I'm
Josh Allen.
And I'm Josh Allen, so I can make this play, when it's like, nah, just get it out of bounds and live to see another day. And it's just like, if he would do that 7 times a game, he would be the quarterback people think he is. But he just has not proved. And even the decision, like, when he's running and he just chooses to jump, like, what are you doing? You're a franchise quarterback trying to get
You're 6 yards away from the
You're 6 yards away from the first down in the first quarter of the first game.
You could hurdle him, and it's still people in your way. Like,
what are you doing? Dog. Like, you want your quarterback to be more cerebral than that. And that's the thing that I'm not hearing a lot, is that he is just not very cerebral. Yeah. And I know why I'm not hearing it, but if it was Justin Fields, if Justin Fields had that type of game,
that's a fact.
We'll have the conversation for another day. But yeah, man, go.
So before I really set fire to Josh Allen, let me pose something to you, which I thought, not watching Josh Allen, but I noticed it later that day. Later on Monday. I think it was Bryce Young. Bryce Young's the Panthers, right? Yeah. Bryce Young was running out of bounds. Threw it across his body, 40 yards into double coverage. And you know what I said? I said, Patrick Mahomes is running the game. and I really think he is. The same way, like 2016, 2017, you started seeing people do stuff they shouldn't be doing. I'm starting to see it in all these quarterbacks that think they them. I see it so much in Josh Allen. I see it in the young guys, for real, where you're looking like, what are you doing, bro? Especially Josh Allen. Like, just to break it down, in the last 3 years, nobody's turned the ball over more than Josh Allen. Counting picks and fumbles, it's a ridiculous number. I think he's up to 58 in 3 years, which is insane to think about. And everything
27 turnovers in the last calendar year.
And everything you said is correct about his impulse control. It jumps off the screen. It jumps off the screen that he literally can't help himself. It's like he can't believe how good he is. But you mentioned something where he doesn't look confident and he's trying to force. He reminds me, it's crazy, we keep talking about the Warriors. He reminds me of a sad Jordan Poole. Did you hear him at the press conference? Mm. He was so sad at the press conference. He was so sad. He asked him a question. He was sitting there. I forget what he said. And then they asked him again. It was like, how you feel? He was like, it's the same shit, a different day. Like, same place. Because a year ago, he was doing the same stuff versus the same team losing to Zach Wilson, doing the same thing. There is no improvement with Josh Allen. It has been going backwards for a couple years. And this is kind of how this is how teams reset, because unlike your climb up, that drop off is a lot steeper than people think. You don't go 13-3, 12-4, 11-5. No, you go 13-3, 11-5, 7-9. Like, it really flows downhill. Where you look at the Bills' schedule, we thought there was a possibility they was going to win the game, but like, it's not getting easier from here.
No.
You couldn't beat Zach Wilson. Did you catch Tua on Sunday? Did you see what he was doing? Mac Jones threw for 300 on the number one defense in the league with a tub. The Patriots defense gave up like 12, 13 points in the whole last 3 quarters of the game. That's just who's in your division.
Vegas didn't look bad.
Vegas.
You got to see that Commanders D in 2 weeks.
Oh.
Jaguars you got coming up.
Yep.
You got the Bengals. You got the Broncos. You got the
Yep.
Chiefs. You got the Eagles. You got the Cowboys. You got the Chargers.
Yeah.
That's bad. That's tough. All of those teams look great outside of the Eagles, and the Eagles don't count because they got the best roster in football, and they just look rusty.
And this was my favorite thing because I had them stinking this up this year. I really did. But I wasn't sure it was going to go that way until I was seeing what Stephon Diggs was doing on the sideline. Oh, I love Stephon Diggs. There's nobody. I think he had 10 or 11 targets. And every time they don't have the ball, somehow he's still on camera because he's talking to Josh Allen. I feel so bad for Josh Allen. Josh Allen just threw the worst pick of his life. He's trying to look at the tablet. Here comes Stephon Diggs talking to him. Like, fam, man, let him look at the coverage, bro. Like, let him look at what's going on. He talking to Josh Allen. Like, I feel so bad. I feel bad for Sean McDermott. Life's not fair, bro. Sometimes you get a generational quarterback and he just don't got it up here. Like, and it was a lot of Josh Allen comparisons. A lot of people got mad. White Donovan McNabb, bro. And Donovan McNabb, not a slight. But certain things are going to lose you games. And turning the ball over, like the last fumble, I couldn't believe what I was watching. It looked like the Globetrotters football. It was disgusting because the snap wasn't bad. It hit you in your hands. You dropped the snap, you picked it up, and then fumbled again. What's so upsetting to me is
he just looks nervous.
Bro, he looks scared, bro. He looks scared. You know, he look like he's seeing ghosts. He looks like he's seeing ghosts, bro. He's like, yes, like, and when they talk about Josh Allen, you know what they say? 6'5", 270, big, strong, fast. He didn't look big getting smashed by that D lineman. Because that's the thing. No matter how big you are, 7 players on that defense just as big as you. You may be bigger than the DBs. Maybe even some of the smaller linebackers. But, bruh, why are you ducking your head into the defensive end? Fall on the ball. Like, why are you ducking your head into this is going to be a top 5 defense in the league. If that happens any point in this year, I guarantee the QB fall on the ball. You want to know why? Because they don't want to get their face ripped off like you did. It's no reason to. It's so frustrating, and your last point was 1,000,000% correct. We're going to do a couple of these today. The first one we're going to do is Josh Allen. Boy, listen, could you imagine if this was Lamar? Really, though. Like, really. Could you imagine, bro? Stephon Diggs, Micah Hyde, amazing defense. We did everything possible. The Jets have no starting quarterback. The guy they have playing QB, they cut. They didn't even dress him last year. They were so mad. And you won't stop giving them the ball. There's literally no way they win. Josh Allen could have 0 touchdowns, and they could have won the game.
Yes.
You just can't have 4 turnovers.
Yes.
You're not going to win like that.
Thank you.
It doesn't matter who you are, and that's why I like the punt return, because that's the football gods. Because y'all didn't deserve to win that game.
Exactly.
Y'all had no business being in that game.
Exactly. And shout out to that punt return.
Shout out to him. Yeah, that was tough.
All right, he was undrafted. They showed him on Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
To the team. It was beautiful, man. Shout out to dude for real.
Shout out to punter on Buffalo, too. Shout out to him. Listen, you're going to take a lot of arrows today. They're going to sling a lot of stuff your way. Just know you made the right decision. Like, bro.
Not pay you to tackle, brother.
Bro, like, they're like, he's never made a tackle. Like, seriously, when's the last time y'all think he made a tackle? When was the last time that punter made a form tackle, bro? Could you, punters go to football practice and don't hit? It's not like they, hitting and they're like, all right, let's go on this side and punt. Like, we in middle school. Like, you don't do all the drills and then go kick. Like, he's 170 pounds max, bro.
No, that dude was running 21 miles an hour. We're running 21 miles an hour full speed, and y'all want him to try to form.
You know who I was more mad at? I was more mad at the nigga that tripped. You ain't see him? Like, you got tripped on the back. Like, he hit the ground and then tripped you. Like, bro, you ain't see that? That's who I would have been mad at. If I'm the put him aside, like, hey, damn, we almost had him. Like, where'd y'all go? Like, it's not. He didn't make 8 niggas miss. It was literally just nobody on the field. He caught the ball and just like.
But he hit that one move, hit that.
Yeah, look, opened, closed.
It was like, where were y'all coming from, bro? Like, it was nobody on that left side of the field. But beautiful return. But back to the Jets defense.
Yeah,
amazing.
Amazing.
Should they call Tom Brady?
Listen, they can call. They're not gonna like what they hear on the other end. They're not gonna like what they hear on the other end of that line. Because first of all, y'all can't afford us. To play behind that line, y'all can't afford us. Y'all can't afford us. I ain't to come out of retirement to play behind a bad offensive line.
For $25 million.
Nah, I need 30. I need 30 guaranteed days. You know what? No. Keep it a stat. I don't want what Mahomes getting right now. Whatever Mahomes get, that's what I need right now. Y'all niggas got me out here with no line? Yeah, I need something. Tom Brady like 45. Like, bruh, he was watching that game too. I wouldn't want to sit behind that line. No. The names though, but the names people are throwing out, absolutely hilarious. Keep it a rack. I saw Andrew Luck earlier. Oh my god. It's like, yeah, hey Andrew Luck, you want to play behind another bad line? No.
RG3 volunteered like on Hunger Games.
Yo, shut up RG3, bro. Shut up RG3, man. The NFL check different. I got it. I get you. I would have said that shit too. I would have said it too. Like, yo, I got y'all. Like, you know. I'll back up Zach Wilson, it's whatever. Yo, some of the names, I heard Carson Wentz. Y'all just gotta let Carson Wentz go home. Let Carson Wentz go home for real. He done made his bread. Let him live his life. Carson Wentz had on a Colts helmet, Redskins jersey, Eagles shorts on, and none of them teams was out to work out. Yo. I feel so bad, bro. I genuinely feel so bad. Because now it's back on Zach. And another thing we be right about, I told y'all not to be so mean to Zach Wilson. Because life come at you fast. It's all cool to do that when you think you got a replacement in Mike White. Same time this year, now you need me. Yeah.
He's bad.
Yeah,
he's not a good quarterback.
He's bad.
He's not a good quarterback.
I liked it though because he's kind of like moving like a Baker kind of bad. Like he kind of bad.
So he kind of lean into it.
Yeah, he's like fuck yeah. Bro, think about it. If I'm gonna throw a pick doing the regular shit, I might as well try to just win the game. Like he can't win the regular way. Like Baker stiff arming niggas and shit. Like, yo, get back in the huddle. Like, get back in the huddle.
Bro, them niggas be killing me, bro. Zach Wilson ran 45 yards backwards, bro. Like, what did you think was gonna come from that, brother?
I was watching, bro. I swear I was watching preseason. He did this spin move. I was like, what are you doing? What are you doing, Zach? Oh man, yeah, he be trying. But that defense was as advertised. Quentin Williams looked insane. Shout out Quentin Williams.
But
my life's just not fair.
Life is just not.
Shout out Breece Hall on my fantasy team.
Shout out to Breece Hall. Shout out to Garrett Wilson. Some dogs over there.
Yeah.
I feel bad for him. Genuinely, I feel bad for him. But a lot of other games happen, so let's get into it, man. Let's start with the home team real quick. Touch on that. So first off, which games did you watch? It's the first Sunday in football.
I had the Sunday ticket up. I don't know if anybody got the new Sunday ticket.
It's amazing.
It's crazy. I had who did I have? I had 3 games up and then the red zone in the corner with the red zone audio on. So I was watching, was Seattle early? No, I think Seattle was late. Who was the early games? I'm tweaking.
The early games, 49ers, Steelers, Eagles, Falcons, Packers, Bears, Rams, Seahawks. And then you had Minnesota playing early. Minnesota was playing early.
What time did Miami play? Because I watched every snap of Miami.
They were late.
Dang, I can't remember what the early games was because I was definitely.
Jags. The Ravens, the Jags.
Yeah, I watched the Ravens.
Jags. Bears, but no, that's week.
Bears, Packers, right?
Bears, Packers.
Yeah.
Cardinals, Commanders. Yeah. Titans, Saints.
Yeah, I definitely watched the Jags. I got Trevor Lawrence and Calvin Ridley on my fantasy team. He looked amazing. Calvin Ridley and Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, so we can start there. Jaguars look great. I'm gonna start with Anthony Richardson and let you get back to the Jaguars. I was really impressed.
Bro, listen, I liked it.
I loved what I saw. To have played a really poor brand of football last year and to get drafted, get in the building, and win the starting job and get to the point where you're looking like how he looked on Saturday. He looked very Sunday. He looked very comfortable. Yeah. He was decisive in his decisions.
There you go.
He has a rocket on his shoulder.
The ball gets there.
It gets there. And he understands. He has an excellent feel for the ball, for the game when he has the ball in his hands running. He has an excellent run of the football. The quarterback powers I don't love. I understand why they're in the playbook, but I don't want to see that many. I understand it kind of opens up the offense, but he's young. Let him get sacked a couple times.
Pay your 2,000-yard rusher.
Yeah, type shit.
Yeah, pay your all-pro running back.
Yeah, type shit. So, but I do love his ability to run and how versatile he is. So I am impressed with that. He has the best spike in football. That 360 spike is crazy. Yeah, that was nuts. And I think they're going to be competitive this year because I was expecting Jacksonville to come in there and beat them 28-10. I think they're going to be competitive. I don't think they'll win many games. I still don't think they'll win more than 5 or 6 games, but if that. But I think they're going to be competitive, which is important. Yeah. And I think if he can limit his turnovers, if you get out of this year with, let's say, 12 interceptions or below and 20 touchdowns and 7-8 on the ground, you're really happy with that rookie season. And I'm really happy to see that.
No, I totally agree. And one thing that we definitely learned like over the years, more so than almost any other sport, well, kind of, but we'll see. Coordinators really matter in football. Like a good coordinator is the difference between a bust or this first round pick has talent or, oh yeah, he's him. And Shane Steichen with Anthony Richardson is such a great combination. Coming from transitioning Jalen Hurts into an MVP candidate, perfect person to have him learn how to be an NFL quarterback. And he was amazing I'm glad you say he was decisive. They were just go. And that's what you want to see with a young player. We always say that where, like, you don't want to see him being nervous to make the mistake.
Exactly.
And listen, he threw a lot of stinkers, as he should. This is week 1 in the NFL. You know, you should be throwing a lot of stinkers.
And he doesn't no, go ahead. I'll say that.
But he also made a lot of plays where you saw, oh, that's why he's here. Like, okay.
Yes.
You saw Factual. You saw, like, the good reads. Like, you saw immediate, like, oh, this is why they drafted him.
Factual.
Because if I would have saw clips of him making just good reads, I would have took him first too. Because the ball has heat on it. Like, it's no wasted motion. Like, he's gifted physically. He's huge. He's fast. He's got a great future ahead of him. Hopefully the Colts can build around him. But in a weaker kind of division, like you said, there are going to be a lot of close games.
Exactly. Jaguars, what do you have to say about them? I mean, we know what they are and we know what they present, but I was really impressed with Calvin Ridley, more so Trevor Lawrence. Yeah. I know who Trevor Lawrence is. Facts. But Calvin Ridley coming back looking fresh, scoring 2 touchdowns, looking at in-game speed, first game. And if you heard a lot of NFL players talking over the weekend about how week 1 is hard to get back into the game ski because no matter what you do in practice, you just cannot replicate it until it's there. So him looking up to speed was amazing, and his hands are what they are. So I'm impressed with what I saw from the Jaguars. Right. ETN looked amazing. Facts. I think their defense may struggle a little bit. Anthony Richardson having that type of game week 1, putting up a lot of yards. They did move the ball very well. I mean, this is rookie, so some third downs are really hard to convert, and you saw that. But I think their defense is their weak point, but that offense is going to keep them in games for the entire year, all the way up through the playoffs. And
so I thought about this because I thought the same thing about their defense, where I thought they could have been better. But in the context, I kind of understood because it was probably the hardest one of the hardest week 1 matchups for a defense going in outside of like playing a superstar like Mahomes or anything, because you have no clue what they're going to look like. Right. You can't look at his Florida highlights because that's Florida. He's not going to be running the system. You can't look at Steichen's last year highlights with the Eagles because that's going to be completely different. You really had no way to really scout them, and there's no way to simulate how he's going to play for him. Right. Like when he broke the pocket in the goal line, like he hadn't crossed the line of scrimmage, like, oh, that's a touchdown. Like nobody's getting in his way. Like there was not nobody big enough left to get in his way. Like it was an easy walk-in. So I think they definitely have room to improve. But man, listen, that first half, Trevor Lawrence, because like before the pick, which wasn't even he hit the dude right in his hands. Yeah. But life's not fair. I don't know if I've seen somebody on fire like that in a minute.
He's special, bro.
Because he was making some crazy throws.
He is a beautiful quarterback to watch. He is.
It looks effortless.
Effortless. Man. He is special for bro.
Yeah, and he's one of those players. Listen, Atlanta always wins. You can tell, like we talked about Shador, he been nice his whole life.
100%.
He been nice his whole 100%. Life.
I was just about to say, you can tell that like he's not phased because he's been in big games his whole life. Like it's never been nothing it hasn't been anything he hasn't seen. Yeah. So week 1 of the regular season, just another day at the office.
And Calvin really, that's a bad boy.
That's a bad boy.
Because in the first half, the coach tried everything they could not to double him. They tried everything they could. In the second half, they just gave up and started bracketing him. But every tool, man, I'm so glad he found himself a real quarterback because every tool for a wide receiver he kind of has, like short yard speed, deep range speed,
breakaway speed, route running,
great hands, great in tight spaces. You saw them use him in bubble screens, motion him across. Of course, that offense is going to be really creative
after the catch,
but it also helps having a quarterback who's like Calvin down there somewhere, like,
but actually can put it on him accurately,
right?
Because Josh Allen does that, but it's not an accurate throw. It's
literally
just like we playing in the backyard
and picking your spots to where I'm gonna give you a chance to you catch it or nobody does. Mm-hmm. And the thing about Calvin is he's coming down with a lot of those. He's great after the catch. I think that offense really looked amazing. Evan Ingram looked good. They had good balance with ETN. I think it's going to be a really good year, but that first half, I think Calvin had 100 in the first half almost.
He's special.
Put a lot of y'all on notice.
He's special.
He's going to be one of the best receivers in the league again this year. That year ain't mattered to him.
Nope. All right, 49ers Steelers.
I ain't like Brock Purdy looked really good.
Yeah.
He looked really good.
Yeah.
So let's go to the other side. Kenny Pickett might be the worst quarterback in the league.
He might be, and I want you guys to know that we told you that in that preseason. It does not matter.
Yo.
Like, come on, dog.
And this go ahead.
He played the 49ers. Like, let's chill.
No, okay. So that's my thing.
He played the 49ers.
So let me qualify it. Because I don't think he's the worst QB in the league because the result, I've never seen so many passes look impossible to catch. Because and I said this last week. Deontay Johnson, George Pickens, those not the Larry Fitzgerald, all right, we'll get him next time. Let's run back to the huddle. They were pissed on the field. Like, Kenny Pickett's throwing 15-yard jump balls. Like, he's throwing slants with air under him. Like, I can't imagine how frustrating it is trying to fight through the 49ers defense for him to, it looks like, you know how you play Call of Duty and you're shooting with like an accurate gun? It's like he has a shotgun. It's just in the area somewhere.
Yeah, recoil in there.
Yeah, it's just spattered everywhere. You have no clue where the bullet's going to land. Like, Fred Warner dropped a pick because it was so bad. Like, he was so surprised it hit him in his hands. He wasn't ready. Like,
because the thing is, so the play you're talking about is that little seam to the tight end. Yeah. And it was funny because first off, he was in double coverage with an all-pro safety and the best linebacker football. Probably going to go down as one of the 5 best linebackers ever.
Fred's having a crazy run.
So first off, why the fuck are you throwing that ball?
Got some stones on him.
Secondly, the reason he threw that ball, I will tell you why he threw this ball, is because the linebacker is not supposed to make that play. Nope. Most middle linebackers are not running with your tight end like that,
right?
And turning their head that fast to get their head around and put their hands.
Literally running around.
A lot of them, you're supposed to give them a chance by putting it kind of over the linebacker's head. He did none of that. Yeah, First off, he shouldn't have tried Fred like that because you can't throw that pass on Fred. And secondly, he didn't put the ball in the right position to give his tight end to make a play.
Really?
And like you said, it happened so fast that Fred turned around and was like, "Oh!" And
he couldn't believe it.
And then Hufanga got the pick.
And what was so peculiar was he looked surprised. You spent all summer knowing week 1 it's San Fran. If I was a QB, that would have probably been the most stressful summer of my life. Are you kidding me? Week 1, San Fran? Are you the best defense in the league day 1? No injuries to help you. Nick Bosa here, Fred Warner here. Every great player they got been waiting all summer to get at you. And you're throwing to Fred Warner? It's
trouble. But on
it's
the
gonna
flip
be
side,
bad, yeah.
We didn't think the Steelers were gonna be good, so we ain't gonna soak on them.
Yeah.
All right, so let's take a break because I got to ask you something before we continue this. Do you have any week one overreactions where you are like,
oh, yeah.
all right, I thought this team was going to be nice,
Right.
and I may have been tripping, or I thought this team was going to be middle of the pack, and I may be tripping there, or just this player, or whatever.
So definitely the Cowboys. Like, that looked different. Mm-hmm. Like, I thought they would be good. I thought they had a chance to be bad, depending on how the offense looked. Mm-hmm. Maybe. Still, jury's out. But I don't want to say I'm worried, but we kind of may never know. We may never know if Dak needs to drop back 40 times a game. Because that is the best defense I've seen on a field in a couple years. Including the Eagles defense that broke all the records last year. Patriots defense last year. Whoever you want to throw in there. That was the scariest defense I've seen on the field in a long time. And I don't want to compare them to any other defenses right now because I'm not sure which defenses you could compare them, but they looked mean. They looked better. They looked like when you used to watch a really great defense. Ravens. Legion of Boom Seahawks. Where if you're not an A-plus QB, they're going to run you off the field. And even if you are an A-plus QB, they might. But if you're not one of them guys, like Daniel Jones looked like a college player. He looked like a rookie. Like you saw it on the sidelines where Brian Dable, there's no answers for it. They had no answer for anything the Cowboys were doing because they were just better everywhere. Outside one-on-one, if Dan Quinn wanted to blitz the whole game, they can. Because you're not winning one-on-one for Stephon Gilmore and Trayvon Diggs.
So I'm not going to say that's my overreaction because I thought that could happen. That dominant did surprise me 1,000,000%. Yeah. But I thought that defense was going to be a top 3 defense this year. But we're going to be talking about the defense for a while. It's going to be that good.
Yeah.
Shout out to Michael Parsons.
Oh,
man.
And of course, listen, my Patriots looked a lot better than people thought. I see it. I
think the Patriots look good. I watched a lot of that Eagles game.
Yeah.
I watched that entire game. I didn't miss a snap of that game. So I have two. And a funny one.
Okay.
So my 2 overreactions who I think may make the playoffs. And one team I spoke about, but I wasn't 1,000,000% confident. But if Matt Stafford is going to play quarterback like that for the rest of the year.
Yo, I'm glad I completely blanked on the Rams.
The Rams are going to be very fucking good.
They beat the brakes off the Seahawks, bro.
Matthew Stafford looked surgical.
Slinging it everywhere.
Everywhere. When it needed to go out of bounds, it went out of bounds. When it needed to be in the dirt, it was in the dirt. Yeah. When it needed to be deep, it was deep. Mm-hmm. When it needed to be intermediate, it was intermediate. Yeah. They ran the ball effectively, not great, but effectively, and they beat a division rival. They dominated a division rival week 1. They looked great. No Cooper Kupp. Hopefully, pray across your heart, we get a healthy Cooper Kupp week 5 for the rest of the year. You had a sneaky receiver come out of nowhere and give you 120 or 140, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yo, look great. My number 2, look, boy, after what I saw in Minnesota, it makes me think the Packers may win that division, brother.
Yeah.
The Packers may win that division.
I'm telling you.
That boy can throw that football.
Bro, he's nice.
He can play quarterback.
He's nice.
He is going to be very good.
Yeah.
And the Packers look like they know he is going to be very good.
Yeah.
I liked what I saw from Matt LaFleur and the play calling. I liked what I saw from his decision making. Mm-hmm. I liked what I saw from the defense, which I knew I would. Justin Fields, I'm not going to overreact to. I think they are implementing a lot. I think they need to get Chase Claypool to Mexico.
Oh, no, listen. He'll be selling laptops soon.
I think
he'll be on the Geek Squad soon. But don't you worry.
I think Chicago will get it together around week 4. That's not an overreaction for me. But Jordan Love is one of them. I can see the Packers. I'm going to pull up the Packers their schedule real quick.
Yeah. So I was definitely higher on the Packers than a lot of people. Of course, my Aaron Rodgers hate, but the Packers are a really good team around their quarterback. The line, solid. 2 good running backs. Good young receivers. And that defense is a lot better than people give it credit for.
It's a very good
Jair Alexander is a elite corner. He's a great defensive player.
A really good front
and they play defense with an attitude of Jair. You can feel where there's different type of leaders, but you can tell, he's a little chippy. He not giving nothing up. He not scared of nobody. That's how their whole defense plays. And they looked really prepared. Matt LaFleur, off that Sean McVay coaching tree, has never been a losing coach.
So their tough games this season are that I'm going to throw Detroit in their division rival, and I like Detroit a lot. And I'm going to throw Minnesota in there, so that's 4 games. But after that, your toughest opponents are the Broncos, Chiefs, Chargers.
Yeah.
Those are your toughest games. I think if you can – I think they can beat their division. If they can win, they would have to beat who's their third team and fourth team in their division? Chicago. They would have to beat Chicago twice. Yeah. They need to beat them again, and they need to split with both the Vikings and the Lions. And I think if they can beat one of the Chargers, Chiefs, what is the last name I said? Chargers, Chiefs, or Broncos, which I think they can beat the Broncos and the Chargers due to the Chargers coaching. Yeah. I think they will be a playoff.
Facts.
That's going to be fun to watch. They're going to be a fun watch.
And another week 1 overreaction I had was, we're so right about Herbert. I'm so right about Herbert. He's Matt Ryan with an upgrade. Yes, he's a bot. You just see
he's a box score Max Ryan.
Bro,
Matt Ryan.
The kids be like, I'm him. He's not him. I can see it in him.
No, he's not.
Good arm.
He's can make the throws. He's an amazing quarterback.
He just
it's mentally. I'm telling you, it's mentally.
It's got
the intangibles for a quarterback matter, bro. Yeah. And people like to act like they don't, and people love to see a pretty throwing quarterback. Right. The intangibles matter. Mahomes being that motivated and that arrogant, it matters.
Yeah, you can tell he's quiet.
Tom Brady having that chip on his shoulder for all them years after 4 or 5 Super Bowls, it mattered. Him being able to take coaching like that and having the leadership ability and the person ability that people talk about, how he spoke to everybody in the locker room, he knew everybody. Things like that, they matter. Yeah. They really matter. And I've been saying Justin Herbert for a long time has been this quiet, don't want to talk to the media, don't want to talk to anybody, don't want to be in the camera, and he just wants to go play football. That's not going to work, bro. As a quarterback, unless you got a Ray Lewis on the side of the ball to be your leader, which they do not.
Nope.
You gotta be able to rally the troops and have people come up behind you and really believe in you. I'll go to war about dude. It's just we know dude can throw, and we knew, and we'll go to war with him because he's nice, but we don't really get that same feeling that Mahomes give us or that Brady give us. And I don't even want to say that. Just like how Jameis Winston talks. Yeah. If he just had that type of attitude, or a Kirk Cousins, how his teams rally behind him occasionally. I'm not going to say all the time. Tua. People like that aren't even amazing, but they just, people rally behind you. Jordan Love, you saw how his teammate was after the game. I don't see that from the Chargers, and I think that matters in our prediction of them being the Clippers. I just think it's 100%.
And, I thought it was so perfect. If the NFL schedule makers, of course, best in the business, is what they do. Having Miami and LA play each other was perfect because you saw the difference. Tua, he don't got Justin Herbert's arm. He doesn't have Justin Herbert's body, talent. Can't do half the things Justin Herbert's do. But boy, he out there trying 130%. He's giving it all he got. You can tell his teammates care about him. You tell his teammates rallied around him. Now that their coaches believe, because it wasn't always like that in Miami. They were not always believing. They were calling Tom Brady. They were trying to get other quarterbacks. Mike McDaniel came in, established that confidence in him. To let him know this is his team. You can make these throws. You can make these mistakes. And on the other end, Justin Herbert, and it's ironic to say this, the Chargers just got no juice. There's no juice. Yes. Offense or defense. Joey Bosa, cool dude, no juice. No juice at all. The only person on their team that brings any juice is Derwin. Everyone else, you don't see it. You don't see the fight. You don't see the dog. Where we got the ball back with, 2 minutes left? We need a field goal. What are you doing? What are we doing? You had 2 minutes to go to the field goal, bro.
That shouldn't be shit to you.
Bro.
That should feel like nothing.
Dog.
With that talent?
Bro. And what's so upsetting is it shouldn't look this hard. He's not in year one anymore. He's not in year. It shouldn't look this hard still. The coordinator that's there now, everybody killed Brandon Staley. The coordinator they got now had the number one offense with Dak.
Kellen Moore.
If he can't do it here, bruh.
It may not be. It may be you.
And the rule. I forget the name of the rule in the mathematics, bro. Everybody can't win. The top 1% of people who got championships have all the championships. Top 1% of people who have MVPs got all the MVPs. Everybody don't win. And some people are just really good. Some people got to be, listen, somebody got to be Carson Palmer. Somebody got to be Phillip Rivers. And I'd hate if you were Phillip Rivers again, but like, you're not beating great teams. You couldn't beat that team? Come on, man.
No. He's not beating. They're not beating the great teams. Like I said, they'll win. They're going to win the 10, 12, 13 games we said they were going to win because they have an amazing team, and he's an amazing talent. Like truly, he's a great quarterback. He can make any throw you need him to. He is big. He can run. He is smart. Like he just doesn't have the intangibles. Yeah. But on the flip side, the Dolphins, in my eyes, and I don't think this is your overreaction because I just wanted to see Tua play a couple times, and I still am shaky on this, but they just went from a fringe playoff team for me to a Super Bowl contender. That is how dangerous I think their offense is, and that's how good I think Vic Fangio is. And I love what I saw from both of those sides.
And this is why we here.
Both sides of the ball yesterday.
And I know we right here. Because when Ramsey get back.
Come on, bro.
When Ram get back.
Come on.
That's when it's going to kick up. And that's why this early stretch of games is so important for them. Because if they have momentum, and like you said, Vic Fangio called it an amazing game. If they have momentum and then they get Ram back, that's one of the best rosters in the league. Javon Holland's still there. Ramsey's there. The weapons. We didn't mention Tyreek Hill. It's ridiculous he's still doing it.
So, yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah. He cost me a fantasy game. He literally beat me in fantasy by himself.
Oh, I'm not surprised. He beat a lot of people.
Bro, he scored like 45 points.
Yo, it looked so easy that it was ridiculous. You cannot guard him. You cannot play man-to-man with him. It's almost impossible to double him. And you can't really play zone with him because in zone, you're looking at the quarterback.
Yeah.
So by the time you react, this isn't a normal player. So your closing speed, as you're closing, he's gone.
Yeah.
So he's just running past people that should tackle a normal player.
Perfect example. My mom was watching. Me and my mom. Well, my mom, of course, my mom don't like football. Like doesn't know football, but she likes it, so she'll ask me questions. The fade they threw to Tyreek. She's like, "Why doesn't he just turn around?" I said, "Because Tyreek is so fast. No one in the league runs a fade to that spot. There's not a player in the league that can run a fade 6 yards deep in the end zone and be open." He didn't even get to the back of the end zone. He's so fast, even in short spaces, you can't guard him that way. And what's so frustrating is, I'm glad you mentioned it, the Chargers played the most man coverage of any team in week 1. Brandon Staley, this episode is called Life's Not Fair. But for you, it may be. Because you're a defensive coach. What are you doing here? What is your stamp on this team? You're not calling plays. The defense isn't good. What are you doing? Because that clock's ticking. And when it's about Josh Allen specifically, but I told my dad this, like, I feel bad for Sean McDermott because Josh Allen money guaranteed. So it ain't going to be Josh. And I feel bad for Brandon Staley because Justin Herbert money guaranteed because it ain't going to be Justin, bro.
Nah.
So you need to figure it out because it's going to be you.
But Tyreek is
Waddle too. Game breaking.
There's not an adjective to really describe
it's game breaking.
Is he the scariest player you've ever seen? Or is he a top 3?
He's the scariest person I've ever seen on a football field.
That's not a quarterback, like non-quarterback related.
No, even quarter. And you know what confirmed it for me? Last year, the Bills game, when he picked up that fumble. Because that's how unfair it is. That's how unfair it is for, even in a broken play, if your entire defense is not prepared to run at angles 40 yards down the field, you're not going to catch him. He picked up the ball in a crowd of people and went untouched 70 yards. I've never seen anything move as fast as him, but like the top speed isn't what's so scary. It's being able to be faster than the entire defense while being under control. Because you rarely see he hits that last gear when it's time to get out. But before that, it's like the end of The Incredibles, where it's like, all right, let me win the race, but I ain't gonna go too hard. He's just making sure he's the fastest guy on the field before he gets it.
Yes.
And I think that's what really catches defenses, where he's already the fastest guy on the field, and then he goes up one more gear. Like, he's running routes at your full speed, under control. Like, I've never seen anything like it.
Never in my life. And then on top of that, he's an excellent receiver.
Yeah, he catches the ball crazy.
If he ran a 4.4, he would be a really good possession receiver.
Bro, great hands.
He knows how to get open.
Amazing slot receiver.
He would be an amazing slot receiver. But he said this year that he's working on his release. And I said, oh, so you didn't, like, you can tell, like, he didn't really play football the right way. Like, he just used a lot of his speed. But if he gets a release down to where you can't do anything, like, it's not at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
Now at the line of scrimmage, I'm winning my route before we even get to yard 4.
Yeah.
My route is one.
Yep.
And Tua doesn't miss. Nope. Real quick to him, Tua doesn't miss. Tua has an amazing arm. He throws darts.
Yep.
He threw a rocket on a sit down curl over the middle. He threw a rocket in double coverage. Like, he has a rocket on his shoulder. He doesn't have the best deep ball, but it's getting better.
Right.
It's getting better. You can see he looks bigger on the field. I noticed it. I don't know if everybody else did, but I definitely noticed his added weight and his added muscle on the field.
For sure.
But yeah, I love the Dolphins.
And last thing, the way they use Tyreek and Waddle too. That is what's so frustrating. Because that was kind of the thing in Kansas City, too. They got running back and forth in motions, doing all this crazy stuff. And then Mike McDaniel threw some gas on it. Because he said, all right, we're going to have Waddle do the same stuff on the other side. There's no one that stresses your defense kind of like the Dolphins, where they have two guys you're physically not able to stop if you're not doing the right things. If you
can't make a mistake.
Exactly. There's no cheating. There's no
gambling.
I was gambling. I was trying to do this. My technique wasn't perfect. Because if it's not, it's a foot race.
Yes, sir.
And you saw early with Waddle. I forget. I don't know if it was first or second catch. He catches it. He turns up. He's gone. Like, he's on his horse. Like, you better be ready to turn and run. Because these boys so fast. I think Miami's going to be scary for a lot of people. I hope Tua can stay healthy. But that is going to be a very hard team to beat.
Yes, sir. So, spoke about the Cowboys, Timber Rams, Seahawks, 49ers, Falcons, Chiefs, Lions. So, yeah. I don't think there's much to say about them. I have more to say about the Lions than I do about the Chiefs because the Chiefs, you drop passes and your defense. I think your defense played very well. Like your defense, your defense
got Chris Jones back.
Yeah, but you get Chris Jones back, so your defense is going to be even better. I think they did an amazing job stopping the run, which is what I was surprised about. But I think Mahomes just needs Kelsey back, and everybody else can go back down the depth chart. There's not as much pressure on you. I think Kadarius Toney having that type of game won't happen again. Like and if it does, like it's not consistent as other people to go to. I just think they need Kelsey back. He's a large part of their offense. If you're going to tell me Travis Kelsey isn't going to be better for a playoff run, then I'm going to tell you they're not going to probably win more than one playoff game. But I expect them to be there, so I expect the Chiefs to be good. So it's no overreaction.
Right. I really want to talk about 20-0. That's a fact. And I just want to talk about the Kadarius Toney thing because life's not fair. Sometimes you bust your butt all summer to recover for an injury. You don't get to play preseason, and you get thrown in as a number one receiver game one, and you just can't catch a cold. You just can't catch nothing. And you saw it like late in the third, fourth quarter. I think it was the one down the field that he dropped. You can see the alligator arms. Like, I want to catch it with my body, but I should be catching it with my hands. I'm dead neither. The ball hits the ground. He hit the ground. It's like, damn, like I dropped another one. I felt so bad. Shout out to Mahomes. Kept throwing to him, but man, that's just tough, bro. And you know, I can't, like you said, I can't be too mad. Like, they weren't one of my overreactions because, bro, like, you lose that way, you just got to hang your hat. You just got to tip your hat to them. They played great. We played bad. Whatever.
We got the best player in football.
We lost to the Colts last year.
And we going to be okay. Bro, we lost to the Colts last year. We going to be okay. They going to win 14 games.
We lost to Jeff Saturday last year.
Like, come on. So.
My boy Kadarius Toney. Ooh, you made a lot of niggas mad.
A lot of niggas.
It was people who don't cover football talking about Kadarius Toney. It was NBA reporters making Kadarius Toney jokes. Like, you were trending everywhere. Man.
So, Panthers. Oh, no, I mean Lions. My bad.
Oh.
The Lions. Yo. They look good, man.
Yeah.
They look good. They look surgical. Jared Goff looks more confident than I have seen him, which is what I was expecting.
Yep.
Jahmyr Gibbs' speed pops off the TV. You know somebody's fast when you see them in the NFL and they look faster than everybody.
Yeah, right.
Tyreek, Jalen Waddle, he is in that category now, and it's a few other players. Bijan Robinson I think, might be in that. Boy, he is special.
Listen,
so we'll get there in a second, though. But
that cut he made.
So, Lions.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So I liked everything I saw from Lions. The trenches looked amazing, which I knew they would.
Aiden Hutchinson made a lot of plays.
A lot of plays. And sometimes
he has the motor, man.
Sometimes the day is like that. You getting double teamed. I'm not gonna get no sacks. But boy, I'm working. And he has that. Listen, from Michigan, he an old school D lineman. I like Aiden Hutchinson game a lot.
I do too, man.
Their defense as a whole, the rookies look good.
Yes.
You know, linebacker's not a sexy pick. You're not gonna get a lot of retweets for picking him, but you need him. You need him to be there. And sometimes they make plays that help you win games like they did in that game. But what popped from the screen for me was Gibbs. And I'm glad you mentioned his speed, because what popped for me was his speed with his contact balance. Because that's so important in the NFL.
Alvin Kamara.
Exactly, because that's who they compared him to coming out. You know, also went to Bama. He was a big fan of AK. Played a lot like him. But what makes AK so special is you can never really get him. Like, you really tag him, and he's like, uses it to spin off and keep going.
Yeah.
You saw a couple of times where they would really hit Gibbs, and he would just flow with
bounce with it.
And there was, the goal line one, if he don't slip, that's 7.
That's a 7. Easy.
That's 7.
That's easy.
Like, that boy's going to be really special. Hated seeing, what was bro name? Was that David Montgomery? Hated seeing him out there, but I understand what he's there for.
It's week 1. Bro.
It's week 1. He's a rookie, bro. And running backs, it's not just Madden. Like, you're not just handing the ball off. Like, your pass protection, sometimes we just need to get a yard or two. Like, they're going to work Jahmyr Gibbs in, because there's things he can't do on the field just yet.
And he had a play where he missed a whole bad. And there's things like that you just can't have on 2nd and 1.
Literally.
3rd and 1. And they ran the ball a lot in those type situations. So you just want your proven back. Week 7, week 8, you'll start to see him get some of the more of those carries. You'll start to see him touch the ball 14 to 20 times.
And I like that they still tried to keep him involved even outside of that. They motioned him a lot, but he was explosive in limited carries. I think he'll be great moving forward.
Yeah. I think the Lions are going to be good. And I think
and Amon-Ra St. Brown, shout out to him.
Yeah, he's special. Like, they are good. They are really. It's not one of those Cinderella stories like how I feel like some people are treating. Like, we're treating the Steelers, Washington, and that a little bit like that. Like, kind of Cinderella stories. Like, they could be good if everything goes perfectly. Like, no, they're good.
Everything goes right.
If everything goes right, they could be really good.
Yeah.
But my last overreaction brings me to the Panthers and Falcons, and my last overreaction was to the Buccaneers. I don't know if they're going to be as bad as people they think they are, and it's only because they have a good defense.
Yep.
They have a very easy schedule, and they have a terrible division.
Facts.
And I think with their schedule, they might be able to sneak and win 10 games. They won week 1, which is very important. You already have won. You have 16 times.
Division game.
You have a division game, too. You have 16 times to win one more game. No, it wasn't a division game. They played Minnesota. It wasn't a division game.
Oh, yeah, they played Minnesota.
Yeah, Panthers Falcons. But, no, man. No, I don't trust Baker, so I'm not going to say this is going to happen. But he looked decisive. They look like they're putting him in easier situations. He is accurate. So he's not a great deep thrower, but from 25 yards in, he is very accurate. Outside the numbers, inside the numbers.
Yeah.
If you can give him quick reads and let him read a defense and make 1-2 decisions and get out of there, he can be effective. The run game will be a little bit of a trouble, but they got Mike Evans, they got Chris Godwin, they got some good receivers, they got some talent. I don't know if their season will be as bad as people are saying, and week 5, everything could collapse. So I could be wrong, but right now,
this is why. So, man, this is a great episode title, because what you said is correct. But Baker, life's not fair, because you're on a good team right now. You got good weapons. You got a great defense, easy schedule. But Mike Evans, he won't be here long. Because you want to know why, Baker? Because life's not fair. Because the NFL's a business, too. And listen, nothing jumped off the screen to me. Like, I would say the entire NFL weekend, nothing made me go, more than Mike Evans catching a touchdown and not celebrating week 1. That is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. They were winning. He caught a deep touchdown and just walked to the sideline. He don't want to be there. And, we're gonna welcome open arms in New England. But, New England, Baltimore, Kansas City, whatever good to great to okay team he goes to, he may change how the rest of the year looks. But this roster, how it's intact, absolutely could be a really good team. And it's interesting in this NFC South because it's like they're all kind of in this area. Mm-hmm. They're not all terrible, but they're not all good. Like, they're a special brand of bad where it's like you don't know if they all are going to be 500 or if they're all going to be bad. Mm-hmm. You have no clue. So, this could have been a really big year for Baker. But
could be. Panthers, Falcons, but I agree. I do think Mike Evans is out of there by week 9.
Oh, yeah, he's gone.
He's gone. And it makes sense. There's no reason to pay him. It's so stupid to pay him.
He's too late.
It's so stupid to pay him.
Too late, bro.
I understand him wanting his money, so he don't got to go nowhere he can keep it because he got a big contract. He deserves another one. He's consistent, and he's going to get another one. But it shouldn't be here, and they shouldn't make him play out that season after what they've given to that franchise and knowing they don't want to pay him.
Right.
But Panthers, Falcons, close it up with the home team. I like what I saw, man.
Bro.
From that defense, I liked what I saw a lot.
Yeah.
Their offense is going to be what you saw. I think Desmond Ridder will get a little bit better as the season goes. I don't think he'll have many 200-yard games, Atlanta Falcons fans. You guys are going to have to get used to 17 for 25, 185 yards, and a touchdown that was 3 yards or that somebody broke open really long. You're going to have to expect that. But their offensive line and their 2 running backs are good enough to carry you to 10 games like I predicted they would win. They're Kyle Pitts, Drake London, and
so bad for Drake London.
My boy, I can't remember his name right now because just not that guy. But
shout out whoever's wide receiver 2 on the Falcons.
Shout out to
Chris, probably.
But Chris being the Falcons' number 2 receiver would be so silly.
Listen, the way Chris been working out, my fault.
But yeah, man, I liked what I saw from them, but mainly their defense more than their offense. I think their defense will carry them through the first 8 games of the season, and then their offense will start to catch up. And I think that's a very realistic formula for them. I think if they can get to 17 to 24 points, they'll be in a lot of games, and they'll win the 10, 11 games like I said they will.
So, Beijan looks different.
No, he's different.
Like, day one, you like, he's special. Like, catching the ball out the backfield, he does it amazing already. The touchdown was just ridiculous. Made 3 guys miss. First guy didn't even have a chance. Second 2, he split both of y'all like y'all wasn't there. He looks like next 3 or 4 years he's going to be the best running back in the league. From now till, of course, Christian McCaffrey going to have something to say about that because he might go for 2,500 behind that line. We didn't even talk about how unfair it is for Christian McCaffrey to be on that team now. But Beijan looked amazing. They looked balanced. You could tell this was Arthur. This is you, and I do like this where you bring in a coach, lean into what he does. Mm-hmm. Let him try. Mm-hmm. Like, don't bring a coach in and you keep the roster. Or, we're gonna do this. No. If Arthur Smith want to hand the ball off and run power 45 times, let's get 3 running backs. Fuck it.
If that's what he's comfortable doing and he thinks he can win him in games,
Bruh.
It's a formula to win the championship.
And listen,
it's a formula to win the championship.
And if he's having success, salute. More power to him. It's hard to win in the NFL.
So I'll say this. If they had a B- to B+ quarterback, people would be calling them Super Bowl contenders.
Oh,
how good their rosters. If they had a Geno Smith or Kirk Cousins, a Matt Stafford, a Derek Carr, people would be calling them real contenders because I think their offense has that much talent, and I think their defense is that good. I think it's more their defense than anything, but I think their offense would be able to make enough plays. I think Drake London and Kyle Pitts are better than they're able to show because of the limitations at quarterback, and I think that will go for Beijan later this year. Is he may be able to be a little bit more dynamic in space and in certain situations, but Desmond Ridder just can't make certain throws in man-to-man coverage and certain things like that to get him in the ball in open space. But neither here nor this. That's neither here nor there. I think they're going to be very good. And I love what I saw from Bryce Young. I love what I saw from all the young quarterbacks, honestly.
Yeah.
None of them scared me.
Nobody looked bad for me except really Kenny Pickett. There was nobody I saw that
Kenny
was
Pickett
like,
looked bad.
You're a young guy. This might not be for you.
Type shit.
Like this, maybe you're not a starting quarterback in the NFL. It looked like I hate to just circle back and just start throwing more slander on him, but it looked like, oh yeah, you were a 4-year starter at Pitt,
Bro.
Like you played at Pitt for 4 years. Like I see it. Like, you've never seen something this fast before,
bro. He has on 2 gloves. Have you mentioned that? Did you?
No, I didn't even mention it.
He has on 2 gloves. So that should tell you all you need to know. He's not comfortable back there.
And lastly, before
his hands get sweaty. He can like he got on 2 gloves, dog. Like
you got 2 gloves on at Pittsburgh, nigga? You cold or you scared? Which one is it?
Come on, bro.
Because if you cold, you shouldn't be a Pittsburgh quarterback.
Come on, bro.
But before we get out of here,
I wanted to hit some quick hitters before we get out of here. Yeah.
Cincinnati.
Not worried at all.
Okay.
No, I was going to shoot the same time as my first one. No, not worried at all.
So my question was, because we mentioned this early in the year, not early in the year, early in the show about, man, if Lamar did what Josh Allen did, I just want to point out, if Lamar Jackson contract negotiations lasted until day 1 of the regular season, and you get flooded by a division rival so bad, y'all sit down with 4 or 5 minutes left, I couldn't imagine.
82 yards passing.
I couldn't imagine what they'd be saying if we had to wait until day 1 of the regular season for your $250 million guaranteed deal, and you get out there and you get smoked. Because they looked, that was probably, you know what? That was probably the one team I was most impressed by was the Browns.
Me too.
Because that secondary looked good.
They look very good.
They look
very good.
Yeah,
they look about their business.
Bro, they looked up to the challenge. Because that's a challenge in Cincinnati.
What I liked about the Browns was they seemed determined to play football how they wanted to play. You weren't going to get them out, and you weren't going to get them to drop Deshaun back 35, 40 times. They were going to run the football. They were going to run Nick Chubb 20 times a game. And he's going to average 95 yards a game. He's going to average a touchdown a game. And they're going to give him the ball, let Deshaun run play action, and slowly get him acclimated to the speed of the game again. Yeah. In week 10, 11, I think you'll start to see it to come together a little bit. But that's a dangerous team. Yeah. Cleveland is a dangerous team. He said it. The AFC is open.
And I agree. I'm not too worried about the Bengals because I am a realist, and it was pouring out there.
It was pouring down raining, and Joe Burrow hasn't practiced in a month and a half.
Like, you know, I am a realist. I would never. It depends the situation because I crushed Peyton for it a little bit. I crushed Josh Allen last year, but depending on the weather, I'm gonna give you a pass. Yeah. Like, you know, this is like just some conditions you're not gonna. No. Like everybody just can't do it, bro.
Pouring down rain after not practicing for a month and a half with a very good defense. Like it's
a division defense. Who've been preparing all year for you?
You just had to see it's cool. Same thing with Ravens. Ravens looked a little spotty. They got an easy team. I think if they play a B+ team like the Bengals did, they probably would have lost the game as well.
You could tell they were rusty. Lamar looked rusty.
He didn't play the preseason. He was out by week 9 or 10 last year, so he hasn't played football in a long time. Right. OBJ hasn't played in a full calendar year. I think the positives from the game was their defense and Zay Flowers.
Bro, we were so right about Roquan. We were because
18 tackles.
Because that was the story going in. That's what they were saying. We don't know what's up to Ravens defense, and we said that's the Ravens.
You get the great linebacker, you got it.
Literally, and Roquan Smith was everywhere. Literally everywhere. He got a couple great blitzes. He looked great, and man, Zay Flowers looks good.
Zay Flowers looks great. Real quick. Patrick Queen looks so much better next to Roquan.
Bro, it's like the thing with the wide receivers. Like a wide receiver 1.5 looks amazing next to a wide receiver 1.
What?
Like a linebacker 2 looks great with a linebacker 1 next to him.
So, but Zay Flowers, quick. Yeah. It's not going to let the first guy get him. It's going to take multiple people to tackle. Super shifty. Yeah. He has great hands. I think they need to get OBJ the ball more. I think they will. I think next week against Cincinnati, you'll see OBJ probably get 4 or 5 targets in the first 3 or 4 possessions. Other than that, Lamar just has to get his groove back.
And I saw how they were using Odell, and I kind of like the way they do him in situations to get him one-on-one because he did have – I think a couple plays that he had an early pass interference. That was definitely pass interference. The second one up the sideline was absolutely pass interference. Please stop sending me that play. You can't play corner like that. You can't drive through someone's hips with your corner. You can't hold him. I get it. He's Odell. Y'all mad about it, but he's a crafty. At least Tracy said he's a crafty old veteran now. Like if you get too close, he know how to fall. If the ball's underthrown, he know to lean in. I love to see it. And perfect guy for Zay Flowers to learn from.
Perfect guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited to watch Baltimore. I think they're very good. And lastly, close it out with your Patriots.
Listen.
Because I think they look good. I think they just played. You just played the best roster of football, and they can win ugly. They can win clean. They look rusty. Jalen Hurts didn't look amazing, but they got the best roster of football, and it shows in games.
You ever seen that meme of like the old guy at his car? He like call the ambulance, but not for me, because it looked really bad for a second. Like it looked like it was
quickly.
It was 16-0 really early. Like it could have been Dable, New York. Like it could have been 40-0. But salute to Bill. I call him how I see him. We're always a prepared team.
Always.
We're a calm team. And we responded. Listen, the passing game looks so much better than I thought it would.
It did.
Kendrick Bourne looks really good.
He's a good receiver.
Zeke looked good in his limited carries. The fumble was, it's week one. It's some things I can't be too mad at. Like Zeke's really good at fumble. But I also saw Zeke really good at pass protection. Helping Mac Jones versus this defensive line, getting the chips out. Ramondre looked great later in the game. Hunter Henry had a big game. And that defense,
your rookie looked good.
Listen, that Christian Gonzalez.
I told you.
That boy's serious.
I told you. He's nice, bro.
That boy's
serious.
Listen, week one, I got AJ Brown. Week one, that's me. And if it's not him, it's Devontae. Listen, when Jack Jones get back, that's gonna be a really good deal. And shout out for Jabril Peppers, absolutely crushed Jalen Hurts. Oh my, that got me out my seat. That got me like, ain't nothing like an old school football hit. Because they hit him in the camera turn. Like, he really hit him. Man.
Yeah, so, great game. It was such a fun week. Sorry. Vegas. I like Vegas. I'm not going to lie. I like Vegas.
Oh, yeah, we almost didn't hit on the Broncos because
it's just so sad.
Life's not fair.
It's just so sad.
Life's not fair, man.
Still can't score 20 points.
Sometimes you auction your future for a QB because you got the best defense in the league. And he washed. Like, he was so. And I knew he was bad because I was like, man, I feel like Sean Payton's calling a great game. And then I looked at the stat sheet and bro had like 80 yards. But this is probably the only situation where life's not fair, Russell Wilson, because it ain't gonna be Sean, nigga.
It will not be Sean Payton, bro.
Yeah, nah, bro.
Josh Allen, you are a Denver Bronco.
That's crazy. Yeah, listen. It's gonna be a tough year, Russ.
Yes, sir.
It's gonna be a tough year, but it got off to a great start. Every game was amazing.
Yeah.
It's no sport like the NFL.
It's no sport like that. It's just not. What a weekend, bro. What a weekend from Thursday to Sunday. What a dramatic ass fucking weekend, bro. It's been great, and we are right back in 2 days.
Football in 2 days, bro.
We get a football game. We get a football game in 2 days. We get a good football game. Eagles Vikings week 1 Thursday night football.
Yeah, we're so spoiled.
So and then we get Dion that night. We get USC again, and then we get a full slate on Sunday and 2 Monday night football games. We're spoiled, but we will be back very soon.
Just looking ahead to Thursday because we'll be back.
We'll be recording that day.
Yeah. So we'll get into it then.
Oh no, we can go ahead and do it now because the episode is gonna come.
Oh yeah, you're right.
On Friday. So hell yeah, close it out.
Minnesota, y'all better pack a lunch.
I was about to say it's gonna be quick for me, brother.
Because this could go really bad, really fast in Minnesota. That 0-2 is serious, bro.
That was where I was going.
It's really hard to come back.
That 0-2 with the Packers, because I think the Packers are going to beat the Falcons this week. I think it's going to be a really good game, but I think they're going to sneak out, and I think their ability to pass the ball will win them this game.
Right.
Packers 2-0. I think Detroit is going to win this week. You third in your division?
Yeah.
You fuck around and start off 2-4. Your season's over.
And the thing is, the way you win was, man, Justin Jefferson's got to be the best player on the field. He was. Like, he was. and it didn't matter. Like like that defense is really that bad.
It's bad. It's bad.
And it worries me where, man, Baker making them plays. Jalen Hurts going from the New England defense to this one.
This is gonna be a great one more game for them.
Whoo, it might get ugly in that game.
And I say the only thing that'll keep them in this game is Justin Jefferson being the best player on the field, like you said.
Yeah.
Because the Eagles' weakness is their secondary, most specifically their safeties. They have
Right.
2 good corners, but their safeties and their nickel corners are not great. So if Justin Jefferson can expose that, I think they'll have a day. I think they could potentially have a good game. But what I do think the Eagles are going to do is play a lot of man and have Darius Slay follow Justin Jefferson. And I think they're going to do that and live with that and live with their front four, getting pressure on Kirk Cousins and forcing him to get the ball out.
And what they did last year was they just doubled him and zero blitzed everybody else, and just dared anybody else to win. Because this Eagle roster is so amazing because you still got Bradbury on their number 2. But what scares me about this game is like they might go a half before the ball hits the ground.
Seriously.
Like Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith, AJ Brown, like they can't wait to get a hold of you.
Run down their throats.
Oh yeah,
they're gonna run the ball down their throats.
Man, that's gonna be. Listen, I hope pack a lunch.
I have the Eagles winning that game 28-14. Like I think 31-14, something like that. I think it's gonna be a rout, but I think it's gonna be a good game for the Eagles. Get a good jump start on the season, get some groove back in their offense. And I will say 2 things that have me optimistic about Minnesota is one, the Eagles look rusty, and your quick turnaround could heighten that Thursday. And like I just said, Justin Jefferson, nobody is like him in the NFL, so he could potentially break this game open, beating that secondary. I just don't know how feasible it is with that front 4. Lastly, Jalen Carter looked amazing. He is going to continue to get better. He's 9 pressures, 1 sack,
and he played spot roles.
He was.
Because they rotate. It's ridiculous.
It's not gonna be fair.
I saw Fletcher Cox get off the bench and make a 3rd down stop.
Get off the bench.
It was so frustrating. Like they were like, "Here comes Fletcher Cox coming in the game. Here he comes. He can't play the whole game, but he can play a 3rd down. Let's see if he can make it." And he just grabs Ramondre. Like, dog. It's so crazy. Like
they got a crazy roster.
He part-time. Just part-time.
Part-time chilling.
Yeah.
But great show. Like I said, we'll be back very soon. This is episode 49. Life is just not fair. Prayers up for Aaron Rodgers and all Jets fans across the nation. I understand your distraughtness. We will be back very soon. As I said, you guys have an excellent week, and we'll see you later, twins.
Salute.